Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Abdulaziz, how are you?
Good.
How's everything?
Uh, well,
You don't have school on Saturdays, right?
yeah,
Abdulaziz, I sent you an email. Did you check it or you didn't see it?
I checked.
Because you told me that actually you want to practice about triangles. And is it about similar triangles or congruent triangles?
Uh,
Because we have two
Congruent,
chapters in geometry. One is about congruent triangles, the name of the topic, and everything is about congruent triangles. And next one is similar triangles. So what are you studying at school right now? Which one is it?
congruent.
Congruent triangles.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me just show you something, okay? And you want to practice about congruent triangles or should we continue? Because first I want to make sure that you're talking about the same topic. Do you have any questions or worksheets so I can have a look and see what is it exactly?
mm, I need to study geometry.
Okay. Give me a minute, okay? Let me show you something. Okay. Now, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is unit 4, congruent triangles. So what do we have here? Here we have classifying triangles, angles of triangles, isosceles and equilateral triangles, and congruent triangles, triangle congruence, side angle side, and the side versus side angle side, and side. SS means that side in the coordinate plane, and triangle congruence, angle, side angle, and angle side, triangle congruence, that is HL. Congruent triangles proves mixed review, proving parts are congruent with CPCTC and blah blah. Are you talking about these topics? Do you remember any of this?
uh, we're doing CPCT.
So the last one, proving parts.
Yeah,
Hmm. It's about okay, hypotenuse leg and all right, triangle side mixed. Hmm. Okay. I see. If I knew this, we would start from the beginning and we would do this because to use this one, you need to know all of this stuff from the until this chapter. Before this, like classifying triangles, angles of triangles, and isosceles and equilateral triangles, and blah blah blah. Okay.
okay.
So, do you have any worksheet, Abdulaziz, that we can have a look, or we should practice here?
Yeah, I have worksheet
Is it online or in paper?
paper.
So can you take a picture and send it to me? Let me see.
Okay, wait.
Okay, let me see. Just at this, I want to make sure that these questions are similar.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Abdul, do you have telephone? Can you take a picture and send it to me?
Okay.
Because if they're similar, we can practice here.
I send it.
Uh-huh. Statement, reason, or proving about congruent triangles. I see. So is it about CPCTC?
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're similar. Maybe if you want, we can have a look at these things, okay, together, and after that we can continue because my plan was first to teach you the fundamentals of math, my 2 or 3 months, and after that, we can just focus on one thing, maybe geometry or algebra 1 or algebra 2. Okay. So now
Okay.
maybe for a few weeks we can do geometry. So just is Abdullah's ways. Okay. Abdullah. All right. Yeah. Okay. And I think if you just say a few questions, you'll have some idea. Here, the challenging part is, you can just see the triangles are congruent. But the problem is, how do we prove it using mathematical language? Okay, how do you show that that is congruence? You need to express this. Just showing this how to express your thoughts. Okay, let's just some questions. Okay, then I think you'll have some idea. So, what does this CPTTC stand for, Abdulaziz?
Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent.
Uh-huh. So that is stand for corresponding parts. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Let me just write it fast. Okay. And now it says that use CPCTC when asked to prove what? To prove parts, right? To prove parts are congruent. For congruent, let me just write CONG for short, right? But first, you must prove that triangles are congruent, right?
Yeah.
First, we have to prove that two triangles are congruent. And after that, why it's congruent? To show that, I have to show that, okay, if you're talking about three sides, okay, the first side is congruent to the first side, second side, third side. Then since all corresponding sides are congruent, then these two triangles are congruent. That's the conclusion. So you must prove that the triangles are congruent. Okay. Like, for example, let's see one example. Then after that, you can have a look at your paper and do this. Given, okay, at also, I'm just going to mark, right? Side AB is congruent to AD. So this is congruent to AD. It's given. And BC is congruent to DC. BC, right, is
Yeah.
congruent to DC. And now we have to prove that BCA is congruent to DCA. Okay. You see, as you
Okay.
see here, they are congruent. They're exactly the same. It's just you need to learn how to express this using geometric, what is it, words. And now we will start that actually. Here, two things are given, right? As you see here, what is given here? So number one is AB, right? Side
Yeah.
AB is congruent to AD, right? So this is given. What the reason is, it's given in the question. And also we know that first you should write what is given. BC is congruent to DC. How do I know that? It's also given, right?
Yeah.
And now we're going to see this. Here we have AC, right? AC is congruent to AC. Everything is equal to itself, right?
Yeah.
So what property is it? Do you remember?
Reflexive.
Reflexive property, right? That is reflexive property. You see, you need to know the names of these properties. That's a challenging part. The students, they don't know the name. That's why they cannot solve it. If you know the name, it's really easy. That is reflexive property. All right. And now
Yeah.
I can write here, what is it? BCA, the triangle BCA, right? Is
Yeah.
congruent to triangle DCA. Okay. What is that?
Okay.
What property is it?
Uh, side angle side.
Side, right? Because I have proved that. You said the first one is side, second one is side, third one is side.
Oh.
These corresponding sides are congruent, right? That's why the side. I didn't show that two angles are congruent. If it is angle, then side, angle, side, or angle, side. So now we have proved that I'm going to use the first three. One, I'm using this one, using this one. Now I'm drawing a conclusion. Then these two triangles are congruent. And congruent means that their corresponding sides are equal in length and corresponding angles are congruent, right? So now we are
Yeah.
going to get the conclusion here then. That is, what is it? We have to prove what? Angle, right? And now,
Yeah.
so angle BCA is congruent to angle DCA. Why? Because corresponding parts of congruent triangle are congruent, right?
Yeah.
What does corresponding parts mean, Abdullah? Also, you should understand corresponding parts means that when we talk about triangles, it has sides and it has angles, right? That's it. When we just say corresponding parts, we mean that corresponding sides and corresponding angles. So what I mean here, it means that the shortest side is equal to the shortest side. Longest side is equal to the longest side. The medium side is equal to the medium side. The smallest angle is equal to the smallest angle, right? It means this, okay?
Okay.
Now we can have a look at the question and prove this. Another one, for example, read the question.
Uh, given PS uh, QR angle QPC congruent to angle SRQ roof side PQ congruent to RS side.
Okay. First, it says that given PS is parallel to QR. Where is PS? PS here. So let me just label this first. PS is parallel to QR. And also it says that angle QPS. Where is QPS? QPS. Okay, this angle is congruent to triangle SRQ. SRQ is congruent to this angle, right? And now
Yeah.
we have to prove that PQ is equal to RS. Where is PQ? Here, I have to prove that this PQ is equal to RS. Okay. So
Okay.
now, what do you think here? What property I'm going to use here?
Uh, side angle side.
Angle, side, and side.
Oh.
Or side angle. It doesn't matter. Because you see here, this P, angle R. And this PS, right? I'm going to show that QR, they are equal. And the QS is a common side, right? Reflexive property. So that means that, and also then PQ must be equal to SR. Equal means congruent. Okay, now first we will start with what? First, I will start with PS, right? Because it's given. This PS, that's why first given information is parallel to QR. So that is given, right? And also what
Yeah.
is given here? Angle QPS, angle QPS is congruent to angle SRQ. Also this given, right? And
Yeah.
now, if you remember about parallel lines. That is the fundamental theorem in geometry, right? So if you draw a transversal, I do a transversal. So it says that these angles they are called, what is it? Alternate angles, right?
Yeah.
The alternate angles are congruent. If it is x, also this should be x, right? And since
Yeah.
PS is parallel to QR, right? So then this angle should be equal to this angle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to write it down. So from here, what is it? PSQ, right? So
Yeah.
angle PSQ is congruent to angle RQS. Angle RQS. Okay. What is this? That one is uh, alternate interior angles are congruent, right? Or you can
Yeah.
just write the alternate interior angles, even you don't have to write it, because now we should know that this alternate interior angles, that's why they are congruent. Okay.
Okay.
And what else do we know here? We know that also this QS, let me write here, QS, right, is congruent to SQ, right? What property is
Yeah.
it?
Reflexive.
Reflexive, because everything is equal to itself, right? And
Yeah.
now from here, okay, what do we know here? Look, uh, if I know angle, side, right? Angle, or angle, side, angle. Okay. So we have angle S, you see, angle SP and Q, right? Because now we have angle, side, or angle, side, right? Can you see that angle P and
Yeah.
the angle S,
Yeah.
angle R and angle Q, right? And QS is a common side, right?
Yeah.
So now from here, now we see, actually we can conclude that triangle, what triangle here? PSQ, PSQ is congruent to triangle, what is it? PSQ, RQS, RQS, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because angle, side, right? Let's say angle P, the first angle, and the second angle, right? And QS. This one is a common side, right?
Yeah.
So, and also here, angle, side, because of this reason, it's congruent. And says what now? What does it mean again? Congruent. The definition of congruent means that all corresponding sides are congruent, all corresponding angles are congruent. So, what do we need to prove here? PQ, right? So PQ. Then from here, PQ is congruent to RS. Why? Because congruent parts of what is it? CP, congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent, right?
Yeah.
CPCDC. Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Congruent means equal actually, but it is length or something. That's why we use congruent in geometry. Like if you look at your first question, can you do it now?
What question?
You send me a paper, like Abdulaziz. You see the first one. Okay, question 3. It says triangle ABC and median BE, right?
Yeah.
And AD is congruent to DC. AD is congruent to DC. And triangle ABC and median BE. So it's median, right? Prove that angle DAE is congruent to triangle DCE. So first you start with what? AD is congruent to DC, right?
Yeah.
And DE is congruent to DE, reflects the property, right?
Yeah.
Thus this AD and DC, it is given. And this DE is congruent to DE, it is reflects the property, right? And
Yeah.
also median, what is the definition of median? It actually bisects a side, right? So AE is congruent to EC, right?
Yeah.
That's the definition of median. The reason is the definition of median. Median means that it bisects a side, right?
Yeah.
So then triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDE, right? Because we have already showed that AD is congruent to DC, DE is equal to DE, is congruent to DE, and AE is congruent to CE because of the definition of median. And that's why triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDE. And since it is congruent, then angle DAE is congruent to angle in DCE. Why? Because of CPCTC, right? Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
And like question 4, for example. Can you read the question? Question 4.
Uh, Given site GB bisects angle ADC and site AC convert to site CG, prove angle site AC convert to site BC.
Prove that AC is congruent to BC. AC is congruent to BC. DB bisects angle ADC. Okay? And AC is equal to CD. Right?
Yeah.
Just this. Abdulaziz, give me a minute, okay? A
Okay.
second. Let me change this to a PDF, and after that, I can show this. We can work together on this.
Mm.
If you send me early in the email, I would prepare this so we can work together. Okay. All right. Now the second one, right, Abdulaziz?
Yeah.
So BD bisects angle ADC, right?
Yeah.
BD. What does it mean? Angle ADC So that means that this angle is congruent to this angle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And also it says that AC is congruent to CD. So if I just draw this, all right. So this AC is congruent to CD. Okay.
Okay.
And prove that AC is congruent to BC. So we have to prove that AC is congruent to BC. We have to prove this. Okay. So now it
Okay.
doesn't look same, but maybe it's not drawn to scale. DB bisects ADC. Okay. And ADC and angle AC is congruent to CD. Is something wrong here? I think AD should be equal to CD, but it's okay. Let's see. But I think that the question seems wrong. Anyway, prove AC is congruent to CD, BC, right?
Yeah.
To prove that, we have to show that AB is congruent to AD. How? Okay. First, let me just write here, angle ADB is congruent to ADB is congruent to angle CDB. What is it? Angle bisector. Right?
Yeah.
And also AC is congruent to CD is given. AC is congruent to CD. It is given. All right. And also we know that BD is congruent to DC or BD. That's right here, DB is also reflexive property. Reflexive property. Okay. So now to show that AC is congruent to BC, I need to show that these angles are the same. If something is missing here, the question, I don't think this question is correct. Give me a second. Okay. ADB, CDB. Okay, just a second. Okay. DB bisects this is given. It's a bisector given. Okay, reflects a property. And angle. What do you think, Abdulaziz? I can see something here. It's because BC, right, should be congruent to AC. Okay. So from here, these two angles, they are congruent. All right. It says that AC is CD. So where am I going to use this? If it is like AD is congruent to CD, I can show that AB is congruent to BC. But here, AC, ADB, CDB, ADB.
I think side AB congruent to side CB.
Yeah, here ADB is congruent to ADB is congruent to DCB, right? Because this angle, side. Okay, one more time. Let's try. Otherwise, let me think later. And what I feel that actually something is missing here. So DB is bisector. Okay, so bisector means that uh, DB DB is angle bisector. Okay, so that means that bisect ADC. All right, this angle equals this angle. All right, and AC is congruent to CD. Okay. How can I show that AC is congruent to BC? We don't have enough information here. Angle, angle. Anyway, I'll see this later, okay? Maybe something is missing, maybe I cannot see this. Okay, Abdulaziz, let me not
Okay.
spend too much time on this. Let me have a look. Because here, to be able to see AC is congruent to BC. So we have to show that if ACB is congruent to ACD, at the time, AB is congruent to AD, and BC is congruent to AC, I can show this. But we don't have such thing here. And also, the figure is not drawn to scale. That's why it's confusing. You see, it's BC. It doesn't look actually congruent to AC. Do you think that they're equal, BC and AC? They're not equal. Okay. And I feel that
Okay.
this question is wrong. But if it is wrong, I will prove that it's wrong. I'll show this. Okay, can show it to your teacher. Okay, let's have a look at another question. Read the question.
Uh, Fill in the missing reasons for the proof below. Given AE side congruent to side AB, side AC bisects angle EAB, angle E congruent to angle B, roof AC side congruent to BC.
Mm-hmm. So first statements, reasons. But I think the first one is easier, right? A
Yeah,
is
given.
congruent to EB, that is given, right?
Yeah,
And also this one, bisects, they're all given. And also angle E is congruent to angle B, also it is given, right? And
yeah,
now let's have a look. This AE is congruent to AB, all right? AC bisects EAB, so that means that this angle is congruent to this angle, also it is given. And angle E is congruent to angle B, also it is given. This angle is congruent to this angle. And now to angle EAC is congruent to angle BAC. Why?
uh,
Angle
bisector.
bisector, right? It's the definition of angle bisector because in the question it's saying that AC bisects, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, because it bisects means that AC is an angle bisector. That's why EAC is congruent to CAB. And triangle AEC is congruent to triangle ABC. Why?
Uh, Angle bisector.
Angle, side angle. You see this one angle is congruent, and also this side is congruent, also angle, right? Either from one
Yeah.
side to the other side, either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Because I know that you see this angle alpha is equal. And also this AE, AB, they are congruent. And also this angle beta, they are congruent, right? So that's why it is why, because angle, side, angle, right?
Yeah.
And since it is so, then these two triangles are congruent, right? Then EC is congruent to BC. Why? Because congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent.
No, okay.
Question two.
Mark the diagrams with three pairs of congruences and determine which of the five congruence criterion proves the triangle's congruent.
And which of the five congruence criterion proves the triangle's congruence? Okay, the first one, for example, BD bisects angle ABC, right? So this angle
Yeah.
ABC bisects means that this angle is congruent to this angle, right?
Yeah.
And AB is congruent to BC. So let me just write here, AB is congruent to BC, right? And how
Yeah.
about BD? Is a common side, right?
Yeah.
So, so what is this? It is side, angle, side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why actually these two triangles are congruent. So mark the diagrams with three pairs of congruences, okay, and determine which of the five congruence criterion proves the triangle congruence. So that one is, it is side, angle, side. So that one is side, angle, side. If you need to write one by one, you can write here. For example, the first one is what? AB, right, is congruent to BC.
BC.
It is given, right? And
Yeah.
also number two, ABD, angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. Why? Also it's bisects, right? Angle bisector. You can write here angle bisector. Okay. And number three, BD is congruent to BD, right? That is
Yeah.
reflexive property, right? So that's it. And now we can write here that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD, triangle CBD, triangle CBD. Why? The reason is side, angle, side. And now the conclusion is that since it is so, then AB is congruent to BC. Why? Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent, CPCTC. Okay?
Okay.
And how about question B? F is a midpoint of CD. So let me just mark here. It says mark. And the question says mark. Okay, so let's mark this. So CP is equal to FD. Because F is a midpoint. That's the definition of midpoint, right?
Yeah.
And the CG is perpendicular to CF. CG, CF. So this one is perpendicular. And DE is perpendicular DF. Also that one is perpendicular, right? And the angle G is congruent to angle E. So this angle is congruent to angle E. It's given, right? And what we have to prove here is No, we don't have to prove here, right? It just says that.
Yeah, we just find the well in the parentheses.
Okay. So what is this?
Uh, side angle.
Side, angle, angle, or angle, angle, side, right?
Yeah,
Angle, angle, side.
yeah,
Because angle G is congruent to angle E. Angle C is congruent to angle D because right angles. And this angle G is congruent to angle E, it's given, right?
yeah,
And angle C is congruent to angle D, they are right angles, right? And CF is congruent to FD, that's the definition of median, right? So that's
yeah,
why it is, what is it? Angle, angle, side, right?
yeah,
Okay. And next, C. Given that WZ and the XU bisect each other. But one more thing should be given here. Nothing. WZ and XU, they bisect each other. So what do we have to prove here? So these two triangles are congruent, right?
yeah.
Uh, they don't have to be congruent, but here also they didn't ask question properly, Abdulaziz. They should say that also one more thing should be given here. Otherwise, we can't prove that these two things are congruent. What is that?
Uh, side uh, angle side. I do.
No, there it says it's just WZ and XU bisect each other. We don't have any other information, right?
Yeah,
Actually, mark the diagrams with three pairs of congruencies and determine which of the five congruence criteria proves the triangle's congruence. Because if two lines intersect each other, it doesn't mean that they create congruent triangles. Like, for example, let's say two triangles, okay? Let me just draw like this. So this and this, okay? They are intersecting each other. Are they actually congruent? No. So they did give enough information here. They should give something else. Like for example, let's say WX and UZ, maybe they are congruent or they are parallel something. Okay. I got it. I got it. All right. Now I got it. I see. I saw that it just actually intersect each other. It's not intersect, it's bisect each other. So it says here bisect, right? What does
yeah.
bisect mean?
Dwight.
Divide into two equal parts.
Yeah,
Bisect means that here, so WY is equal to XY. And this UY is equal to YX. It means this. I thought this was intersect, it's bisect. Okay. And also, so they are vertical angles, right?
yeah,
Vertical angles are equal. So then these two triangles are congruent to each other. Why? I can write here what triangle here? Triangle X, Y, W is congruent to triangle U, Z, Y.
Why?
Why?
Uh,
Angle, side.
yeah,
And because here, if I start from here, you should start from somewhere and just move either in clockwise or anti-clockwise. Look, Abdullah, if I start from here, right? This side, and angle, and side, right?
yeah,
That's why this side, angle, side. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I think you have some more idea. Just you need to practice, otherwise the names, you should know the names. Okay, here TW is perpendicular to WZ. So that is this is perpendicular to WZ. And UZ is perpendicular to XZ, WZ. So this one is also right angle. That means that they are right angles. X is the midpoint of WZ. So that means this equals this, right? And Tx is congruent to Ux. What is Tx? So Tx is congruent to Ux, right? They are congruent, right?
Yeah.
They are congruent. From here, I can write here triangle TWX, triangle TWX is congruent to triangle UZX, triangle UZX. Why?
Uh, side.
Side angle.
Where is it?
It's right angle, right?
Ah, yeah.
So right angle, side, angle, right? So that
Yeah.
is the side, angle or angle side. What is it? And this side angle, no. Side angle side. See? Side angle side, right? So that is
Yeah.
side angle side. And
What
also
is hypotenuse?
triangle, also you can use that it is hypotenuse and leg. You see?
Yeah.
The one hypotenuse or leg, they're equal, also they are, or also you can write here hypotenuse or leg. And also here it's a right angle, right? Hypotenuse, we don't know about hypotenuse, that's why we cannot write this here.
What is hypotenuse? Like,
Hypotenuse is the longest side of a right angle triangle, right?
yeah.
So this one is hypotenuse, right? So this
No.
one is hypotenuse.
The longer side.
Yeah. If you draw in a right angle triangle, right? So this is a right angle. So this is the longest side, which is faced by right angle. So that's called hypotenuse, right?
No.
And how about this shorter sides? They're called legs. In the right
No.
angle triangle, the longest side, that is it's called hypotenuse. That's the important length. It's used a lot. That's why mathematicians gave a special name, which is faced by the right angle. And the other small, shorter sides, they are called the legs of the right angle triangle. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, you have already done these questions.
Yeah.
You didn't finish. Okay. How about this question? I think, wait, let's go one by one. So this one done?
Yeah.
Okay. Two.
Not.
What is the question here? Prove that JY, what is JY? Is congruent to KX, right?
Yeah.
Okay, given that JP, what is JP? JP
Side.
is KP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And JY is perpendicular to KP. So that means that this right angle triangle, right? I mean right angle. Okay. And KX is perpendicular to JP. Also, this one is right angle. Okay.
Okay.
We have to prove that JY, right, is congruent to KX. Number one, JP is KP, it's given. And
Yeah.
JY is perpendicular KP, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that means that perpendicular means you can write here. Actually, that's same thing as, what is it? Angle KXP, measure of angle KXP is equal to 90 degrees, right? It's given because it's perpendicular, right?
Yeah.
Also, measure of angle JYP or PYJ is 90 degrees. Also, it is given, right? And now what does HL? HL says that if you are given two right angle triangles, right? If
Yeah.
one of the legs and hypotenuse are the same, so they are congruent, right? If you look
Yeah.
at two triangles, one of the legs, JP, right? What is
Yeah.
JP? JP, right, is equal to KP. So they're
Yeah.
right. What are these? They're hypotenuse, right?
Yeah.
They're hypotenuse. Okay. Actually, I'm not saying that because of hypotenuse, because it's given hypotenuse. Hypotenuse are equal, and also right angle. JP, okay, JP and KP is given. All right. It's 90 degrees. Hmm. Okay. All right. Because just I need to prove that either one more angle or side is equal. Okay, good. Look, Abdullah, let me just write here. These two angles are congruent to each other, right? Because they're vertical
Yeah.
angles, right? And this angle is 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Because 90, 90. So if it is so, if it is so, and also these angles, they must be the same, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Uh, Angle,
Because
side.
the interior angles of any triangle is 180, right?
Yeah.
Because here x is 90, also z is something, right? So we can
Yeah.
here angle Z is congruent to angle Z, right? Because they are, what is it, vertical angles. And now this X, angle Y, they are equal, is given 90 degrees. So angle J and angle K, they must be the same. Why? Because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle are 180 degrees. Okay. So
Okay.
that's it. And now, if it is so, then you see here two angles, 90 degrees and angle, 90 degrees and angle. And also hypotenuse is the same, right?
Yeah.
We can write here, for example, let's just go step by step. Okay. So after writing this, is 90 degrees given, right? And right here, angle, angle X, Z, J is congruent to angle K, Z, Y. Why? Because vertical angles. Okay. And next
Okay.
is from here, I can write here ZJX, angle ZJX is congruent to angle YKZ, YKZ. Okay. Why? Because sum of interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay, because the two triangles, it is two angles are congruent, so the third angles must be the same. Okay, so now
Okay.
then I can write here, what is this? From this, okay, number 5, if I really cannot see that, we can write here triangle, triangle, triangle. Let me just write here triangle JYP, triangle JYP. You see, JYP is congruent to triangle KXP, is congruent to triangle KXP. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Why?
Uh,
Angle, sides. Here we have, or side, angle, side, angle. I can write here angle, side, angle, right?
yeah.
Angle, and hypotenuse. Angle X, angle K, and KP. You see, KP is given.
Yeah.
Okay? So angle, side, angle.
Okay.
That means that all corresponding sides of these two triangles are congruent. And now we can write here then JY. You see this JY corresponds
Yeah.
to KX. Corresponds means this. They're representing JY is equal to KX. Why? Because of what is it? Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent.
Mm.
Okay. So
Okay.
this one is number 4. So this one is number 5, number 6, and number 7. Okay.
Okay.
Abdulaziz, will you continue learning geometry next week?
Yeah.
Okay. We can practice more questions if you want. Okay. But this one, if you understand properties, and it's going to help you a lot to understand, the thinking, what is it, level. Okay. So we have
Okay.
one question. You can try yourself. I will see. This question, Abdullah, let me have a look again. Okay. Would I feel that something is wrong missing here? I'll have a look. Because from the picture, you see here, BC doesn't look the same as AC. No. You see, BC and AC, they were different, but something is wrong here. Maybe if they say that like AD is congruent to BC, and if they ask that, prove that AB is equal to BC, it will be correct question. But now saying that AC in the picture is not given, right? It's not given here. They are asking us prove AC is equal to BC. I think it should be AB is congruent to BC, I think, in this question. Okay.
Okay.
Abdulaziz, now I'll send a message to your mother. You can talk, okay? Now, what are we doing in the winter time? Will we continue our class? And if winter time, if we have free time, we should have in the morning. It will be better because I'm on also holiday until 3rd of January. Okay, if
Okay.
possible, if we can have class a bit more, then after that in January we'll continue maybe 1 or 2 hours a week. Because in 1 week, especially in winter holiday, we have 2 weeks. If you have class like 3 times a week, we can actually learn a bit more. We have fundamental things that I'm going to teach you, and after that, next year you're going to learn algebra 2, and after that you're going to learn about polynomials and the similar triangles, and we may need more time. Anyway, okay, Abdullah, I'll make you a
Yeah.
schedule. Let you know. But next week we will continue this with the schedule. And in winter time, I'm thinking if we can change our schedule, cannot evening, but in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Abdullah, see you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
I will meet your brother after 8 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.